Oh, good, you're awake.
What happened?
You've been in a coma for 22 years, but that's not important right now because I got us tickets to go see Fast and Furious 10 and our showing starts soon.
Okay, can you at least catch me up on the plot?
I mean, I guess, but we're gonna have to be quick if we want to make it in time. Okay, so do you remember how in the first one they were stealing DVDs and Vin Diesel's Dom Toretto was calling people the F-slur?
Yeah.
So in the second one, can you guess what they called it?
Too Fast, Too Furious?
They absolutely did. Vin Diesel was like, I cannot be here right now because I have to go film the X Games Presents American James Bond, aka Triple X. So in that one, they team Paul Walker up with Tyrese Gibson and they go undercover for the cops again. Then in the third one, nobody comes back. So we follow this 40-year-old high school bad boy who gets deported to Japan for his own good. And he goes Tokyo drifting around the whole city with his friend Lil Bow Wow and his mentor Han Solo. Real character name. But then Han dies, but everyone loved him so much that the studio was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make the next 3 movies take place before Tokyo Drift so that we can include Han in them. So in the fourth one, everybody's back, but then Letty, Dom's girlfriend, dies right in the beginning, so it's this total sausage fest until Wonder Woman shows up. Then in the fifth one, they do a bank heist, but not the normal way. They use their cars, and they drive it around back, and they attach their cars to the vault, and they drag it through the streets, causing an obscene amount of death and destruction, but boy did it look cool. Also, The Rock is there. In the sixth one, surprise! Letty's still alive, but she has amnesia, and she doesn't remember that she loves Dom and Corona Light, and so she's hanging out with this British guy doing crimes and stuff, and the Fast family was like, we gotta get her back whether she remembers us or not. So they're fighting for her on this airplane that's trying to take off for like a half hour, and then they crash it, of course, and then Han dies. So now we're caught up to the original Tokyo Drift timeline. And then in the seventh one, Paul Walker died in the middle of filming, and so everyone was crying too hard during the movie to remember the plot. So in the eighth one, can you guess what they called that?
Fate of the Furious?
You bet your tush they did. In the eighth one, Dom betrays everybody because Charlize Theron kidnapped a son he didn't know he even had. Speaking of unknown family members, cut to the ninth movie, where it turns out Dom and his sister have a brother who was heretofore unmentioned and unknown. And he's the bad guy. Also, Tyrese and Ludacris go to space.
When did Ludacris get there?
He's been there since the second one. Also, turns out Han was still alive anyways, and we didn't have to do all that flashback stuff. And I haven't even told you about the Hobbs and Shaw spin-off where they fight off a cyborg. It's incredible. So now we're at the 10th one.
Did they call it Fasten Your Seatbelts?
No, and I'm still bitter about it. But who cares? It's so good. Now we're caught up to the 10th one. So are you ready?